Hello, it's Damian Questany. Thank you so much for taking the time to join me today. Let's talk about the government shutdown, shall we? Birds are still singing. People are still out and about doing things. May not seem like it's a big deal, but what do you guys think it would be like if the government employees under the federal system were no longer being paid and they're going into work and they're sitting there with their staplers and their pens and their ties and they're wondering, am I going to get a paycheck? What about my retirement? Do I still get to collect that? Do you think they'll be sitting around thinking about that? What are they going to do? They think they're going to be owed money for working? I know, something to think about. Because what happens if the government doesn't come back online in the way that it is now? That it has to basically claw its way back because maybe on the federal level there have been decisions that were made to pull out of certain agreements, like the Paris Climate Accord or the immigration under the United Nations. And we recently, Nikki Haley was at the United Nations making a case for Israel, who is a dear and loved friend of the United States. And that vote went not in the direction I think the U.S. wanted it to go in, but nonetheless, they thought it was prudent to retaliate with language that discussed using money as the weapon of choice for retaliation against the United Nations. And they said that United States is one of the largest contributors to these programs. And we're basically going to have to reevaluate those programs, and we may have to cut back some money. Well, in my estimation, what appears to me is the retaliation, because it was money driven in the United Nations is also stricken back with money. And they caused a government shutdown, which is going to be very interesting to see how people react when they look at their retirement. But yet the stock market's continually going up because money is flooding in to the United States. And what do? We move it into our futures markets. Which are our futures markets? Our futures markets are our stock market. So what happens if the Dow continually climbs? People are they still going to believe that everything's fine? Are they? I don't know. I'm asking you. What do you guys think? Are they going to be able to go to the bank and want to take out a loan when many of these banks are owned by foreign banks? So it's definitely an interesting thought to go down these rabbit holes and consider these options and these potentialities. So, are we at war? We just don't necessarily see it? Or is just I just need to get my tinfoil hat out of my drawer, which I have one, by the way, just so everybody out there is clear about where I stand. But what do you guys think? Has a line been crossed and now the storm is here and we're just seeing the beginning of it right now? Is that possible? I don't know. I normally don't like to talk about politics because it's just, oh gosh, everybody's got an opinion, Everybody is so emotional about it. But, so it's kind of a dirty word. But I want to throw that out there, see what people think about this whole situation. We've had government shutdowns before, by the way. This is not our first rodeo. In fact, I remember under the Obama administration, I was in Nebraska. I lived there. And I remember going to a place called Wilderness Park and riding my bike. I was so excited because everything was still working just as smoothly And I remember thinking to myself, I couldn't think of a better opportunity than this right now, than to actually go outside and enjoy the world. So, but this time I think it's different, and this is why I'm making this. I'm bringing up this question because I don't know what you guys think. Maybe I'm being a little dramatic here, which is possible. I don't. But maybe I'm onto something, because I don't see this faring very, very well, because it shows a divisiveness. A divisiveness here in between the people, between our leaders. So it makes us look weak, and I don't like looking weak when you're dealing with security, and that's what government's supposed to be, is security, nothing more. It's not supposed to be a revenue stream. It's not supposed to collect things. It's supposed to provide security, organized security. But it's kind of lost its way. Or maybe this time it's different, because we have new leadership. And maybe what we're seeing, this war being fought, is because the leadership that we have now is actually really trying to change something. Is that possible? Is that a reality? Is that what's happening here? Is that the reason why this is all coming out and we're about to suffer greatly over this? Is because our leadership is truly trying to save something. If that's the case, we all gotta man up real quick, don't we? Thanks for listening. Cheers.